What are you people doing here? Deadites and worse are storming the castle, and you want to talk about horror movies? Okay. Well, it's that time again. The trees have shed their leaves, and a sense of death hangs in the air. Persephone journeys to the underworld to be with her husband, and the world withers. Sounds like the perfect time for a series of movies about people getting horribly murdered, doesn't it? So, in the spirit of the season, I'd like to present my favorite horror movies in no particular order. I do a finger quotes top 10 list, but I suck at math. So here we go. The best vampire movie, The Forsaken, 2001. Now, many of you may not have heard of this movie. It stars people I don't think I've seen before or since, and it didn't do very well at the box office. But despite all that, The Forsaken is one of my favorite monster movies. The basic plot is this. A guy driving cross-country picks up a vampire hunter and then a girl bitten by vampires. He gets bitten by the girl, so the three team up to take down the local vampire lord, a former crusader who made a pact with the devil for immortality. The thing I liked most about The Forsaken is how much they play with the vampire mythos. For example, I don't think they ever considered trying to stake the boss vamp. Instead, they have to find a holy ground and kill him with sunlight. The movie plays with such dead tropes as, we can only be cured if we kill the boss vamp, and Blade's anti-vampire serum. The Forsaken is a lot of fun, but it's not safe for work or children. The best werewolf movie, Cursed, 2005. Here's another movie that flopped at the box office. According to my voluminous research, it gained a cult following. I guess people do like Christina Ricci's gigantic forehead. Anyway, unlike with The Forsaken, Cursed doesn't really play with its source material very much. It's pretty much the standard werewolf movie plot. Kids get bit, transform, run around confused, some characters reject or embrace their curse, and they end up fighting to the death. If werewolf movies were as common as vampire ones, this formula would be stale and we'd be getting, well, Twilight, but with werewolves as the focus instead of vampires. However, since the biggest finger quotes real werewolf movies I can remember are The Howling, Wolfen, An American Werewolf in London, and of course the 1941 original, the formula remains fresh. Check out Cursed for a quality horror movie. It's face-rip-offingly good. The best ghost movie, Stephen King's Riding the Bullet, 2001. If you think about it, death really is the theme of this season. Death, and what comes after. Riding the Bullet is an adaptation of a Stephen King novella. A death-obsessed kid is hitchhiking back home to see a sick mom and runs into a whole manner of spooks and creeps. I like the novella, but I love the movie. The way it treats ghosts is midway between The Forsaken's vamps and Cursed's wolves. I particularly liked how the movie tended to blur the line between the two worlds, making you wonder who was and who wasn't still with us. The best 80s slasher movie, The Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. I firmly believe that Freddy passes and surpasses all the other 1980s horror movie villains. Jason, Michael Myers, the Xenomorph, and maybe even the Terminator. They're all scary, but they all gotta sleep sometime. Then Freddy gets ya. While the other guys, besides Xeni, are effective villains, Freddy is still better because he takes something everyone needs and nobody can escape from and makes it terrifying and deadly. Sleep is practically the fourth primal need along with food, water, and shelter. Studies have shown that going without sleep for extended periods is almost as damaging physiologically as lack of food. Lack of water is still deadlier, but the longer you avoid sleep, the more insane you start getting. And once you slip out of the real world and into your dreams, Freddy murders you. This is basically the plot of the movie. Freddy Krueger was a child killer whom the previous generation set on fire. Freddy comes back for revenge on their descendants, the teenagers. They get picked off one by one because no matter how hard you try, you'll always fall asleep. If you think about it, Inception is basically a Nightmare on Elm Street without Freddy. I would love to see a crossover. So those are the best things that are good at making you dead. How about the best things that are already dead? The best zombie movie, Shaun of the Dead 2004 and Zombieland 2009. I let these tie because the two of them average out to be the best horror/comedy movie or the best comedy/horror movie of all time. I already talked a little about them in my Best of 2009 lists last year, but I'll repeat the important stuff. Shaun of the Dead is the funniest horror movie around. Likewise, Zombieland is the scariest comedy. Shaun has Romero-style slow zombies, and Zealand has 28 Days Later fast zombies. It's a pretty amusing flip over the Atlantic, isn't it? Now, I can't say that zombie movies are my favorite genre. Zombies are basically the only horror movie monster that scare me anymore. And I've just given Freddy Krueger a brilliant idea into how it's going to kill me someday. But Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland are absolutely worth it. The best horror on the small screen. Doctor Who 2005, The Empty Child, and The Doctor Dances. Coming as they were in the middle of a science fiction series, the disturbingly zombie-like Empty Child was absolutely terrifying. The episodes feature the Doctor and his companions Rose and Captain Jack Harkness trying to recover a piece of alien technology from the London Blitz. The Doctor has to figure out what the Empty Child is and how to stop it before the condition spreads to the rest of London and eventually the world. The episodes have some truly terrifying moments, such as the scene where the Doctor, Rose, and Jack listen to a reel-to-reel tape recording of a medic trying to talk to the afflicted boy.
A child? Suppose this explains Mummy.
How could a child do this?
Do you know where you are?
Are you my mummy?
Are you aware of what's around you? Can you see?
Are you my mummy?
What do you want? Do you
I want
know?
my mummy. Are you my mummy? I want my mummy. Are you my mummy? Are you my mummy? Mummy? Mummy?
Doctor, I've heard this voice before.
Me too.
Mummy?
Always, are you my mummy? Like he doesn't know.
Mummy?
Why doesn't he know?
Are you there, mummy? 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 Please, mummy? Mummy?
Doctor?
Can you sense it?
Sense what?
Coming out of the walls. Can you feel it?
Mummy?
Funny little human brains. How do you get around in those things?
When he's stressed, he likes to insult species.
Rose, I'm thinking.
Mummy?
Cuts himself shaving, does half an hour on life forms. He's cleverer then.
There are these children living rough around the bomb sites. They come out during air raids looking for food.
Mummy, please?
Suppose they were there when this thing, whatever it was, landed.
It was a med ship. It was harmless.
Yes, you keep saying harmless. Suppose one of them was affected, altered.
Altered how?
I'm here.
It's afraid. Terribly afraid and powerful. It doesn't know it yet, but it will do. It's got the power of a god, and I just sent it to its room.
Doctor?
I'm here. Can't you see me?
What's that noise?
End of the tape. It ran out about 30 seconds ago.
I'm here now. Can't you see me?
I sent it to its room. This is its room.
Are you my mummy?
None of them notice when the tape runs out, but the voice continues. The transformation sequences are pretty gross too, with the masks growing onto the afflicted folk's face and coughing up the gas mask filter.
Mommy.
The best terrifying scene from an otherwise terrible movie. The cellar scene from War of the Worlds, 2005. I think this scene is so shocking because the rest of the movie was supposed to be scary, but just wasn't. Maybe someday someone will make a movie that's entirely set in a creepy rundown farmhouse or cellar during an alien invasion. Oh, wait! That's right, they already did that, didn't they? Never mind. The Rosy Goggles of Nostalgia Award for Favorite Horror Movie That Turned Out to Be Terrible Upon Rewatching It. The Lost Boys, 1987. Blah. I used to love this movie. I used to think this was the be-all, end-all of vampire movies. Maybe even better than Dracula. Apparently, I'd blacked out all the terrible jokes, the child actor finger quotes heroes, the awkward romance subplot between the kid's mom and the movie store guy. Who publishes the comic book the Frog Brothers distribute? Does every new kid in town get one? Why hasn't anyone locked these kids in an institution yet? The movie does have a couple of decent ideas, but the sheer campiness of those two idiot kids ruins the movie. So there you have it, a list of my absolute favorite horror movies. Keep in mind, though, that this is just a list of the very best ones that I've seen so far. It's entirely possible that someday I'll replace some or all of my picks as better movies come out. But that's the great thing about horror movies. As long as people still want to be scared, Hollywood and the indies will keep churning them out. So until next time, I'm... I wonder who those guys were. Whoa, cool. Alright, you primitive screwheads. This is my boomstick. Ah! Whoa. It works. What am I going to do with the body of a dead demon? Scarecrow!